Hi Glenn, how are you today?
I'm good, Jim. How are you?
Nice seeing you again. What
Thank
an
you.
awesome detailed sketch you're putting on this print, and it's an awesome thing of what you're doing here. These donation pieces for Chase Gallia and the Gallias at the Chase the Dream event.
Well, thank
it's
you.
incredible. It's incredible how you can personalize this print to make it one of a kind as well.
Well, I like to do that when I'm trying to do fundraising for different important causes, such as the one you're working with.
Now I've heard about this book you've donated as well.
Yes.
I'm very excited to see it.
Well, why don't we have a look at it?
Okay, let's move this print.
Okay.
Get this out of the way.
Let's move that under there.
Let me grab the book here. Oh, wow.
It's
That's quite the case as well. It comes with lock and key.
It does, and it was quite a major production at the time. This is back in 1977 when this book was produced, and it was done by my brother, who had a company then that had been manufacturing rare books and prints and that type of thing. So we decided to do a volume like this because that was the year, 1977, when my first book came out, the trade edition version. And I believe they ran about 40,000 copies of that. This one is only 300 copies, and that's why it's so rare, yeah. The production of it is very unusual too, in that you get this limited edition print.
I can see there's multiple parts to it, not only book, but this print.
That's right. Which makes it a very unique item. Now this bison was done with a process that's now very rarely, if ever, done anymore. It was done with copper plates, and each color had to be done separately and slowly build up the shading of the bison.
Wow,
and there were 32
amazing.
different plates for the browns and so on, and then there were other shades of plates done, like the blue in the sky here and a bit of purple. So altogether there, I believe it was 37 plates.
Wow.
To do the entire piece. And this is the only way you can see this. There's nothing like there. I didn't paint an original or anything.
Oh wow, that's incredible.
Yeah, so it's very unique and very different.
Put this away for a second. I can't wait to get my eyes on that book.
Okay. You just put this over here.
Pull this out from there.
All right. Thank you, Jim.
I'll lay this down so we can maybe lay it on top.
No, that'll be fine. Just do that. And now these papers here, they're called end papers. They're called marble end papers. They're done in France. And the number of this book is number 96 out of 300. And it was signed by the author, Paul DeVal. And then, of course, my signature was just above it there. And that's the title page. I was going to be doing a sketch shortly on this page, which will even make it more unique.
And one of a kind as well.
One of a kind, right. And along with that, I was going to do signing of each of these gatefolds, they're called. And again, this is a very unusual thing to see in a book. Very expensive to do, and along with the saddle stitching binding here, it all had to be done by hand. And the paper is produced also in France. It was done in France through the paper mills they have there, and these sheets were manufactured specifically for this book. And they're all acid-free, 100% acid-free, so that it'll just stay like this forever, which makes it really exciting to know that.
The beginning of the book was your beginning as well, so it's almost like a chronologic history.
That's right. It starts off here with my very early drawings as a child. I think I was 6 there, 8 on this when I had done this one. And this is 1956, a young hawk. This is what I did back then and I still prefer to do today. As you know, when I borrowed skins from you or pelts
Correct, yes.
and specimens to work from, I did that when
Study
there
drawings.
was nothing else around, that's right. These would be considered roadkills at the time.
Yes.
What that means is cars would drive along and accidentally hit something, and this is done even today.
Great reference, nothing
But
like the original.
Yeah, that's the only way I could get that kind of reference. And then later on in the early 60s, I was able to get down to the Royal Ontario Museum through a friend, Jim Woodford, at the Federation of Ontario Naturalists. And he introduced me to a lot of different people at the museum where I could borrow skins and pelts to work from. So as we go on here, there are more gatefolds. This is one of the giant squid and the whale battling it out. And it was 1964 I did that one.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
Absolutely awesome work. And you're saying there's only 300 of these in the world right
Only
now?
300, yep. This was muskie I'd done back in the early days. A lot of these also appeared in the Star Weekly magazine. They would come out with portfolios over the years,
Wow.
and it allowed the general public to see my work on a national scale.
You were mentioning on the phone as well how you get updates on the values.
That's right. The last update I had on this book was a few years ago. One is sold in New York for $10,000. And that's nice to be able to know that, because I get inquiries every so often from people who have a copy, and they like to know what the current value is. So this is another
that one
reason.
didn't have the original drawings in it.
No, this one will.
Wow.
So that will really help your cause, I'm hoping.
Well, I do know that the Gallias really do appreciate the donations and all you've done. And this is an absolutely awesome donation piece.
Well, thank you, Jim. And it's my pleasure to be able to do it. Like I said, you know, I like to be able to donate these things every so often to worthy causes such as yours, and trying to protect the environment and the animals that are found in it. So it really makes me feel good. It makes me feel very much like I've accomplished what I've set out to do.
Oh, it's very appreciated.
Well, thank you, Jim.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay.